Ladies and gentlemen, 2016 inductee, Jim Sollars.
Well, I think we could probably just continue with moral potestio stories. We all have them. Most of mine we couldn't repeat. Buzz has a few as well, if you want to talk to us later. I do have three things I need to cover before I begin my comments. The first is, this is my favorite daughter-in-law, Maria's birthday. Happy birthday, Maria. Secondly, this troublesome table right over here, made up of a lot of my players from the mid-90s, and they requested that I do one more hop in anger at the referees, and so if my knees and hips hold up, I've got to do it for them. Thirdly, I have to explain, as you noticed, I'm on the Hall of Fame committee. And some of you are probably questioning how I made it. Well, it was a split vote, but I had the swing vote, so here I am. You're going to have to bear with me. I certainly would like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for including me in this group of inductees. And thanks to my friends and family who have attended this great banquet tonight. My gratitude toward the university can hardly be measured. UP gave me an opportunity to actually get paid for my hobbies, history and sport. First of all, I need to thank the many assistant coaches and wonderful players whose performance allowed me to continue coaching for so long. Several assistants have become head coaches in the college ranks. Kelly Graves at Oregon, Sean Kelly at Concordia, and Cheryl Sorensen here at the University of Portland. My former players have enjoyed careers which have included engineering, teaching, coaching, dentistry, medicine, and law. A number have played professional basketball in Europe. All have become excellent representatives of the University of Portland. I was also privileged to work for two great athletic directors, Joe Etzel and Scott Lakem. And in baseball terms, 2 out of 3 at the plate's not a bad day. They cheered my teams when we played well, supported us, and showed patience during those seasons when we didn't win a lot. UP gave me a chance to make numerous friends, some of whom for a lifetime, and I need to mention them, a long list, but I'll be quick. Buzz Stroud, Joe Etzel, Clive Charles, Bill Irwin, Gail Pop, Kathy Scoba, Pat Sweeney, Rob Connor, Terry Polarese, Bill Reed, Chris Sperry, Duncan Strang, and Mary Vernig will be forever a part of my life. Here I became acquainted with the two most Christ-like people I've ever met, Father Prue and Father Fred Barr. They were great pilot fans and set examples for all of us on how we should live our lives. Most importantly, the university made it possible for me to be a coach and still be a decent father and husband. It's very easy for those of us in the coaching profession to push our loved ones into the background. As a young boy, my son Tony asked my wife Pam, who was a full-time public school teacher, why our family wasn't like others that he knew. We didn't have the traditional roles, nor follow an 8-to-5 schedule. I was gone for many of my kids' games, matches, birthdays, recitals from November through March, and I recruited in July. I always seemed to miss the family crisis, the dog dying, the roof leaking, Tony getting his teeth knocked out in a basketball game. Pam had to assume the role of both parents much of the time. Nonetheless, the advantages of this job far outweighed the negative. The flexibility of my work schedule allowed me to care for the kids when they were sick. to take them to the dentist and doctor's appointments. And if they got in trouble at school, I could be there. My family altogether earned 4 degrees from U of P, but benefited just as much from their non-academic experiences here. For example, Jill learned a valuable lesson about boys when she moved from the all-women mailing hall to the co-ed Shipstead hall. To quote her, "Dad, you didn't tell me guys leave a big mess and they stink." As an 8 to 12-year-old, Tony enriched his vocabulary with colorful words he learned while a bat boy for the pilot baseball teams. Abby was more into dance as a member of the pilot dance team for 3 years, but as a little girl was also an enthusiastic basketball camper who developed tenacious defensive skills even if she couldn't shoot a lick. Pam earned her master's degree here, but learned much more about basketball than she ever wanted to know as well. She even gave me advice from time to time. I once had a team that couldn't defend the Sisters of the Blind. Pam got tired of me complaining about them and suggested I use a zone defense. I hate to admit it, but she was right. Having my kids here was not always a good thing. My team was in a last-minute one-point game against Montana when I looked across the court and saw Abby stretched out reading a book on a couch that was designated for a select booster of the men's basketball program. She was totally oblivious to our game. Or when my son Tony and his roommate, who lived in a school bus during the summer while working as river raft guides, returned to school and left the school bus in the UP parking lot. They still owe me for the $250 in fines that I've had to pay to public safety. Nonetheless, the university was and continues to be a major part of my family's life. In conclusion, I would like to express my appreciation to the university for remembering our task as an athletic department is to educate student athletes. Winning and filling seats are important, but counter to the far too common trend in collegiate athletics today, academics and character development remain the cornerstone of our programs. Thank you.